Republican Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn released a long ad announcing her re-election campaign. So let's have a little laugh together and check it out.
The United States Senate. It's totally dysfunctional and it's enough to drive you nuts. And that's why I've decided to do something about it. I'm Marsha Blackburn. I'm a hardcore, card-carrying Tennessee conservative. I'm politically incorrect and proud of it. So let me just say it like it is. The fact that our Republican majority in the U.S. Senate can't overturn Obamacare or will not overturn Obamacare, it's a disgrace. Too many Senate Republicans act like Democrats or worse, and that's what we have to change. Here in Tennessee, I fought my own party to stop a massive, job-killing state income tax, and we stopped it. We won. I know the left calls me a wingnut or a knuckle-dragging conservative, and you know what? I say, that's all right, bring it on. I'm 100% pro-life. I fought Planned Parenthood, and we stopped the sale of baby body parts, thank God. I shoot skeet, have a concealed carry permit for the gun that I do pack in my purse. I believe our government spends too much, grows too much, and is bankrupting our children's future. I believe in President Trump's immigration ban, and I'll fight with him every step of the way to build that wall. I stand for hundreds of millions of honest Americans who work hard and they play by the rules. And I stand for the greatest country the world has ever known. I stand when the president walks in the room, and yes, I stand when I hear the Star-Spangled Banner. A great Tennessean who wasn't so politically correct himself once said, "One man with courage makes a majority." Well, courage comes in both genders, and I'm running for the U.S. Senate because I'll fight every day to make our Republican majority act like one. Too much is at stake. America needs a conservative revolution and leaders who are willing to fight in it. I'm Marsha Blackburn. That's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and I would be honored to have your vote.
Make the pain stop. Dear God, make the pain stop. So there's so many parts of that that are interesting to me. I like how she repeatedly calls herself politically incorrect as she's making the most politically correct ad I've ever seen in my life. That's like textbook, generic Republican shit. Like, you have the cheesy fucking music in the background, and you're going through all your dumbass talking points. I shoot skeet. The fuck does that have to do with being a congressperson? I'll tell you what it has to do with being a congressperson. Nothing. But the reason you say it is because you are being politically correct to appease to your base, and you're doing it in the most menial, preposterous, silly ways. So as you got your corny-ass music in the background, and you talk about the shit you do to just try to make people have a Pavlovian response and vote for you, you say, I'm politically incorrect, by being 100% politically correct to try to get votes in the most generic way imaginable. So please, you're not, these people, I'm like, oh, I'm some sort of bold iconoclast. No, you're not. You're a standard run-of-the-mill douchebag Republican. And by the way, this is the congresswoman who CNN would have on to debate Bill Nye about climate science. Because, you know, Marsha Blackburn, genius on climate science. No, she reads fucking Koch brothers and ExxonMobil talking points and goes out there and does their bidding. So I have zero love or respect for Marsha Blackburn. She's a hilariously silly person, and she belongs nowhere near power. But I just find it funny that yes, as the cheesy music's playing in the background and she's talking about shooting skeet, she's like, I'm politically incorrect. Then maybe you would have not run the cheesiest ad ever of your fucking shitty music and talking about shooting skeet. Okay. And then, so there's a controversy over this, and the controversy is as follows. She says in that ad, as you just heard, I stopped the sale of baby body parts being done by Planned Parenthood. Now, here's the reality about that. Not only is that a lie, that's a malicious, defamatory lie. So, of course, she's talking about that so-called Sting video. It was a far-right group that went into making these videos, trying to show Planned Parenthood as some sort of genocidal organization. What was really happening was there was the sale of fetal tissue for research purposes to, cure diseases. Now, it is totally legal to take fetal tissue and put it towards research purposes to cure diseases. And the money that was discussed was about shipping costs. You're not allowed to make a profit on selling fetal baby parts for obvious reasons. So the so-called sale was just the discussion of shipping costs to get the fetal parts, the fetal tissue, to the lab to research to cure diseases. But of course, these people are malicious liars, and they took everything out of context, and they made it seem like, Planned Parenthood was selling baby parts for profit. And so in steps Congressman Marsha Blackburn, who says, I stopped the sale of baby parts. But that is totally misstating the facts of the situation, and it's a defamatory lie because, again, you're feeding into this narrative, this untrue narrative that's been proven false 1,000 times over, that Planned Parenthood is selling baby parts. That's just not correct. In fact, there were lawsuits over this, and guess what? The people who made the video lost the fucking lawsuit. Planned Parenthood, there was lawsuits involving Planned Parenthood and the people who made the video, and the people who made the video lost the lawsuit because they lie and they take shit out of context to try to make it look like Planned Parenthood is a genocidal organization. And then, by the way, you also have fucking crazy far-right terrorists who go in there and shoot up Planned Parenthoods because they see videos like this. So it's a malicious lie that leads to literal terror attacks, and Congresswoman Blackburn goes out there and repeats it. And goes, oh, yes, no, I stopped the sale of baby parts. Well, the sale of baby parts wasn't fucking happening. There was discussion of cost to get transportation so that the fetal tissue could be used to research curing diseases. That's what was told to the people at Planned Parenthood. They were lied to, and then the tape was taken out of context to make it look like they were talking about the sale for profit. So she lies, repeats the lie. A lie has been proven in a court of law. And guess what? As a result of this, she was buying ads for this to run on Twitter. Twitter was like, we're not going to run this fucking ad. We're not going to run this. Because you're fucking, this is a brazen, disgusting lie. And we don't have to run whatever ad you tell us to run. We could decide, we're a private company. We could say, no, we don't want to run this because there's a lie in there. If you take out the part that's a lie, then we'll run it. And by the way, that's exactly what they said. Take out the parts that's the brazen lie, and then we'll run it. So it was taken down here. I want to read you what CBS says about this. Republican Representative Marsha Blackburn's Senate campaign announcement ad has been blocked by Twitter over a statement the abortion rights opponent makes about the sale of fetal tissue for medical research. Blackburn, who is running for the seat being opened by the retirement of Tennessee Senator Bob Corker. Okay, so let me just pause for a second. She's not running for re-election in Congress. She's running now for Bob Corker's seat in the Senate because Bob Corker's stepping down. Anyway, let's continue. Boasts in the ad that she stopped the sale of baby body parts. A Twitter representative told the candidate's vendors on Monday that the statement was deemed an inflammatory statement that is likely to evoke a strong negative reaction. All right, let me pause. No, Twitter, no. That's not how you describe it. You don't describe it as an inflammatory statement that is likely to evoke a strong negative reaction. Because fucking everything is an inflammatory statement that's likely to invoke a strong negative reaction in this highly politicized world that we live in. So no, that's not the reason why you're pulling it down. The reason why you're pulling it down is what I just stated. That it is a malicious, proven, defamatory lie. That's the reason you're taking it down. don't water down your own cause here, and that's exactly what they're doing. Oh, it's inflammatory. No, there's a million fucking statements that are inflammatory. I'm inflammatory on Twitter every day. I'm sure you're inflammatory on Twitter every day. I say things that invoke a strong negative reaction every day. I'm sure you do too. So, but that's not the reason why one would take it down. One would take it down because it is a literal defamatory lie that's a proven lie that she's repeating and expecting no consequences. All right, let's continue. Twitter said the Blackburn campaign would be allowed to run the rest of the video if the flag statement is omitted. While the decision keeps Blackburn from paying to promote the video on Twitter, it doesn't keep it from being linked from YouTube and other platforms. Okay. So in other words, what they're saying is Twitter's arguing, look, you want to pay us to run the ad. We're not going to run the ad since it has that in there. And we have the right to make that choice, to make that decision. But that doesn't mean that you can't link to the YouTube video or something on Twitter. Doesn't mean you can't link to somewhere else that has the video and put it in a tweet. So they're saying this is by no stretch of the imagination censorship. Of course you can, link to it on Twitter. We're just saying you want to pay us to run the ad. We're not going to run the ad because it doesn't meet our standards because there's a fucking proven lie in there that, was in a court of law proven to be a lie. So that's what's happening here. Now, even having said all that, I do think this is a little scandalous because, so as you know, and as I just made crystal clear, I'm not mincing words at all. It is a lie. It's a proven lie. It's a disgusting lie. It's a defamatory lie. It's as bad as it gets. And should there be accountability for it? Yeah. I mean, if a pharmaceutical company tries to sell a pill and they say, oh, this cures cancer, and it doesn't cure cancer, well, guess what? Somebody's getting in trouble. You can't run that ad. That's why every time you see an ad on TV for a pill, the side effects may include diarrhea, blah, 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 blah. So they do all that because the FDA says you have to list the side effects. You have to be accurate about it. So, but for some reason, for politics, no, you can say whatever the fuck you want. But then you could just brazenly mislead people. So here, at least we have a situation where a private company's going, no, we're not going to fucking let you come out here and lie. But at the same time, this does, open a can of worms. This is a slippery slope because then now you can have nitpicking over any fucking political ad. There are 1,000 ads that Donald Trump ran and Hillary Clinton ran and every candidate ran where they go, well, that part right there is not true. You're stretching here you're omitting an important part of the picture. And if you nitpick, yes, you could basically find that everything is just chock full of lies. So, I mean, look, if I'm Twitter, as much as it fucking pains me, because I know that everything she's saying there is a lie, especially that literal defamatory lie, I still run the ad because, I mean, you show me definitely any Republican ad, I will immediately point out 4 or 5 lies in the ad. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, they can't make a case without fucking lying. So what are you going to do? Ban all Republican ads? Ban 70% of Democratic ads? It just strikes me as, yes, at the end of the day, it is de facto censorship, even though this is a case where you're, like, censoring, and there is a fucking good reason. So, even though it pains me, I probably would run the ad if I was in charge of Twitter. But I just want everybody to also get the facts out there, because I don't want people to make it look like it's an open and shut case and like, oh, it's just Twitter censoring conservative voices. Really? Is that why they fucking ran every other Republican ad that has bought time? No, it's not fucking just censorship of Republicans. That's nonsense. It's nonsense to try to portray this as a black and white issue and like, they just want to shut down conservative. No, it's got nothing to do with that, or else they would have censored every conservative ad. No, this has to do with, there is a literal defamatory lie that we know is a lie that's in there, and they say, no, we're not going to be responsible for spreading your malicious garbage. And again, they can still link to a different, to YouTube or anywhere else where the ad is. You can still link to that on Twitter. So they're going to, because here's what's happening already. Marsha Blackburn's playing the victim. She's, you just want to censor me because I'm a strong conservative woman. And that is garbage. That's the same kind of, like, how we talk about McFeminism, where You know, it's fake feminism. Like, oh, I guess you don't want to vote for Hillary Clinton simply because she's a woman. This is a case of Republicans doing Mick-victimization. Like, oh, I guess you don't want to run my ad with multiple proven, disgusting, defamatory lies. I'm such a victim. No, you're not a fucking victim. Spare me. You're not a victim. I would have run your ads, but I would have understood as I'm doing it that there's a question as to whether or not I should be running them because, for fuck's sake, there is a defamatory lie in there. So, I don't know. It's a difficult issue. It's not a black and white case, but there you have it. I hope what happens is she actually takes out that part, and then, fine, Twitter runs the ad. But yes, when something is like proven in a court of law to be a lie, and you just repeat it casually, it would be nice if there were fucking consequences when there's that big of a lie. Now, wouldn't there be?